Hello everyone and welcome back to Hall, also known as Teach as We Learn. Today I'm going to be teaching you about standard form, so let's begin. One thing I would suggest is before you learn standard form, make sure you really understand slope-intercept form because it truly does help a lot in understanding standard form if you understand slope-intercept form. But anyway, let's continue on. So slope-intercept form was understanding all about y equals mx plus b. And in a way, standard form is quite similar, but it's just a x plus b y equals c. And the thing with standard form is that you can use standard form to find your y-intercept, to find slope, and 3 to find your x-intercept. For those of you who do not know what your x-intercept is, basically, y-intercept is basically when x is 0, what is y? So maybe, 0, 3. X-intercept is the same thing, but opposite. What is y when x is 0? So, x could be 2 when y is 0. And to sketch out a little graph could look like this. So suppose our y-intercept is 3. And our x-intercept is 2, 0. So we go 2 and 0. So basically, this is your x-intercept and that's your y. That's just a little, mini lesson over x-intercept. But basically, these are the targets we try to achieve through standard form. And the thing is, you can actually achieve all of this as well with your slope-intercept form. And one part of the standard form, which we actually do, is we convert it into slope-intercept form. I know it's weird, but that's just something that we do. So let's have 3x plus 5y equals 15. In solving, I just want to let you know of 2 rules that you always have to keep in mind when doing standard form, regardless of whatever technique you do it. One is that A must always be positive, and 2 is that A, B, and C must be whole numbers. So meaning, sorry, I spelled positive wrong, but basically 3x can't be negative 3x. And let's suppose it would say negative 3x, then you'd literally divide this whole thing by negative 1 to make it positive. This would be 3x, then minus 5y equals minus 15. And it's perfectly fine for B and C to be negative, but A just always has to be positive. Next rule is that they have to be whole numbers. So A cannot be like a decimal or fraction, and the same with B and C. And suppose you do get that, then let's say this was 3.5x, then I'd literally just multiply this by 2 to make it whole number, and then I'll multiply this by 2 as well, as it would even it out, and that should be perfectly fine. We did cover all this stuff in x variables and stuff like that. Okay, so that now that I have talked you through about it, let's begin solving this equation. Basically, with standard form, there are 3 things that we want to identify. Yes, it's the one that's circled in yellow. This is literally the only reason that teachers even teach you standard form, is just to simply ask you the slope, y-int, and the x-intercept. So basically, there are two ways to do this. One way is way more convenient, and then the other way, it takes up a lot of time. So first I'm going to teach you the more convenient way, and if you understood it, then that's great. It's good to go. And then I'll teach you the less convenient way. So basically, let's start off with slope. If someone asks you for slope, then you can literally just ignore the 15. We don't care about the 15 because, that's our y-intercept sort of like thing. It's just, you can avoid 15. But you would just look at these two numbers, your a value and your b value. So what we would literally do is follow the formula of negative a over b. So it would be 3, because 3x is our a and 5y is our b. 3 over 5, and put that negative sign. So our slope is negative 3 over 5. That easy. And then, that's literally the only formula you even have to remember. Then we have finding the y-int. Now this is where we want 15 to come. So I'll just rewrite that very quick. But 15. So what you would do is literally cover the x, just avoid the x, don't look at it. Only look at the y and only look at the 15. So we want y to be all alone. So you would divide it by 5. And then whatever you do on one side, you do it on the other. So your y-intercept is 15 divided by 5, which is 3. Boom, your y-intercept is 3. And then for your x-intercept, you literally do the same thing. So we have, you would just cover the y this time, and you do it with the x. So it's 3x divided by 3, and then divided by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So your x-intercept is 5. This is a way, it's super easy, super convenient. It will literally take you 20 seconds to do. Then we could do another example. Let's do 7x plus 4y equals 28. Then we have our slope, y-int, and our x-int. Okay, then, so basically the slope, it's negative a over b. So, 7 is our a, 4 is our y, and negative 7, 4 is our slope. Y-intercept divided by 4, 28 divided by 4. 28 divided by 4, 7. X-intercept, 7x divided by 7. 28 divided by 7, 4. And you got all the data you needed. Converting our standard form into slope-intercept. And what I mean by that is our slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. And what we already know is that when we turn it into y equals mx plus b, we get to know our slope and y-intercept firsthand. But let's first turn this into slope-intercept. So what we'd do is we would move the 2x here, and it would become 3y equals 6 minus 2x. And then we distribute this by 3 as slope-intercept is always y. So it becomes y equals 2 minus 2/3 x. So we can already identify our slope and y-intercept. So our slope is minus negative 2/3, and our y-intercept is 2. However, what is our x-intercept? So this is the part where we need to do a little bit more work than our first strategy, but this is doable as well. So what we're going to do in order to find our x-intercept is we're going to replace y with 0. So we're going to write 0 equals 2 minus 2/3 x. And the reason for that is that your y-intercept is when x is 0, what is y? So your x-intercept is when y is 0, what is x? So that's the reason why we put y is 0. So then what we're going to do is solve it like a regular equation. We'll move the 2/3 x there, get 2/3 x equals 2. And then we can multiply something on each side so it would equal it out. So 3.5 times 2/3 x equals x. And then we can times 3f here. And x equals 3. Right? These to cut off 3. So our x-intercept is 3. That's how you can solve it, or what you can do is you could have sort of guessed and filled it in. You could have done that as well. But anyway, this was it for today's video. I hope you had enjoyed. You could have choose which way you liked of finding out student